All right, communications, we are ready to begin. We are live. Perfect. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jameson Whiting and I'm the Vice Chair of the Enterprise and Labor Relations Committee. CM Palmisano has let us know that she is unable to be here today and I will be chairing today's committee's meeting. I'm going to call to order our regular meeting for August 3rd, 2026. Before we begin the meeting, I want to offer a friendly reminder to all committee members, staff, and the public that these meetings are broadcast live to enable greater public participation. These broadcasts include real-time captioning as a further method to increase the accessibility of our proceedings to the community. Therefore, all speakers need to be mindful of the rate of their speech so that our captioners can fully capture and transcribe all comments for the broadcast. We ask all speakers to moderate the speed and clarity of their comments. I'll now have the clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Vita.
Present.
Schaefer.
Present.
Stevenson is absent. Chavez.
Present.
Chugtai.
Present.
Vice Chair Whiting.
Present.
We have 5 present.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that we have a quorum. I'll remind my colleagues we'll be using speaker management today, and it looks like it's running, so please make sure that you are signed up. Perfect. So we'll start with our consent items, which I'll read for the record. We have item number 1, authorizing an agreement with the LA 2028 Summer Olympics Organizing Committee to have Minneapolis as a host city for the 2028 Olympic Games Flame and Torch Relay, and passage of a resolution authorizing commitment of in-kind city services. Item number 2 is authorizing a contract amendment with Roshan Corporation for the Police Department Training Annex Building or Build-Out Project. Item number 3 is an amendment to a previous council action related to a contract amendment for computer-aided dispatch, CAD, and related mobile equipment support services. This correction will reduce the contracted amount for Hennepin Healthcare Systems by approximately $63,000 and $500. Item number 4 approves a legal settlement for workers' compensation claim of Heather Bythall. Let's see, are there any discussion on these items? Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you, Chair Whiting. I'd just like to pull out number 4 for a separate vote.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, I'll move approval of the consent agenda minus number 4. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. None opposed. The ayes have it, and that motion carries. Let's see. Perfect. Moving to discussion items here, we can start with discussion item number 5. Our next item, do we want to do 4 first? Okay, go ahead. Discussion item number 4, and as we will note, I will read that again for the record. Item number 4 is approving a legal settlement for a workers' compensation claim of Heather Bythall. Do you want to take it as a motion to approve? Do I need a second?
Second.
Perfect. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it, and that motion carries. Wonderful. Okay, so then moving to item number 5 for discussion here. Is it 5 or is it 4? It is 5. Perfect. Our next item is related to the establishment of the Assistant City Clerk position. I'll now invite up City Clerk Casey Joe Carl to present on this item, the full name. Clerk Carl.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to the committee. This item is before you because we're asking 2 things. 5 and 6 on your agenda are related items. 5 is authorization to create another assistant city clerk, an appointed position within the office of city clerk, which would restore having 3 assistant city clerks as we've had in the past. So I put a chart here on the screen. It's also in your briefing materials to show Those 3 divisions that actually carry out work assigned by law and charter to the city clerk are each headed under the leadership of an assistant city clerk. Under the charter, the appointment of an assistant city clerk is made by the city clerk and is subject to the council's confirmation. So being here today is 2 steps. 1, authorizing the creation of the 3rd assistant city clerk job. To do that, we are proposing to eliminate 2 existing positions within the legislative support division, which is shown on the right side of this chart. You can see we're striking out the legislative editor and the manager of legislative support to recreate the assistant city clerk director of legislative support position previously held by outgoing longtime assistant city clerk Jackie Hansen, who is in phased retirement now. Her last day is the end of this year. So that's the first action, number 5, and then the second action, number 6, relates to the appointment of that position. I'll stop to see if there are questions from the committee about the authorization of the creation of the position first.
Councilmember Vita. It's quick.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to just say a few kind words. We're not ready yet.
This is, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, to be clear, this is on action
Number
5 on the agenda, which is authorizing the creation of the appointed position, and then we'll take up 6.
Okay, perfect. So your question's on number 6? Yes. Perfect. All right. Thank you for the presentation, Clerk Carl. Are there any questions on number 5? Perfect. Councilmember Schaefer.
Yeah, I'd just like to hear your motivations for this change and kind of your thought process behind that and what you see as a vision for your office around this reorg.
Certainly, through the chair, Councilmember Schaefer. Years ago, when I first started as the city clerk in 2010, worked for several years to increase the number of assistant city clerks who report directly to me, subject to council's confirmation. Each of those functions you see on the chart, elections and voter services, records and information management, and legislative support, are functions directly assigned to the city clerk, either under state law or under city charter. And so I consider those extensions of my core responsibilities. Having an assistant city clerk who's qualified to lead each of those divisions, has expertise in that subject matter, and can help lead and develop a team of those similarly subject matter experts is important, I think, especially for a city the size of Minneapolis, where we are fortunate enough to be able to have a clerk's office with very structured divisions. In most cities, you'll find a clerk's office has maybe a city clerk, 1 or 2 assistant city clerks, and then some staff. And so the smaller team is expected to provide that expertise across all of these different divisions. Here, what we've done is allowed the development of specialization under a leader who then becomes the subject matter expert in either elections or records management, data practices, legislative support, and council process. And that continuity has been important to me. I also think in terms of keeping the confirmation of council, so there's a direct line from council through me to those assistant clerks, is important to provide continuity in the office. That used to be written into the charter. The plain language charter of 2013 removed that requirement. I continue to bring my appointments of assistant city clerks forward, though, because I personally believe it's important that you all have a touch upon those leaders in my office, because the clerk's office, as you know, is the administrative arm of city council. So having a direct connection between council members and those assistant city clerks is important. In addition to those, you'll see on the chart, however, we do have 2 other divisions that report to our chief assistant city clerk, Kelly Giesler, who supervises 2 directors who are also appointed. They're not assistant city clerks because the function of department operations and legislative research and oversight are not clerk functions. Those are functions created to assist the city council in the performance of its work. And so those are separate. They are all under appointed positions that are director level, but the 3 assistant city clerks perform official duties of the city clerk. I hope I answered that question.
No, that's really helpful. And I like the vision of, having a expertise and focus. And I think also one thing that you didn't really mention, but I think is adjacent, is really the idea of accountability as well. That not only can they lead that area, but we also have a direct line of accountability when we have issues we need to deal with. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Seeing no further discussion, I'll move approval of this item.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, and that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, moving to discussion item number 6 here. Our next item is the appointment of Mr. Ken Dollar to the said position above. I'll have Clerk Carl come back to introduce and speak to this before we invite up Mr. Dollar for any comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a few brief comments. Ken Daler has been a steady and positive presence in the clerk's office for many years. He transferred to the office after a brief stint as a policy aide in the Ward 13 office. And like many of us who find ourselves in clerk world, it was not a position that he sought. In fact, I doubt he knew much about it. He was looking to transition to something new and different and important. But like many of us, he found his calling in this unique position, that is being a city clerk. He brings the right temperament and the demeanor to the job. He is meticulous. He takes the work seriously, but not himself. He cares about the ultimate product, which is a legislative record that is accurate, legally defensible, complete, and accessible. He's a mentor to our new clerks, witnessed by their presence next to him in the chair. He develops their talent. He invests in them, a similar love for this very quirky but indispensable position. And he partners with others across the entire enterprise and at all levels to provide timely and accurate advice and assistance. Personally, I've come to depend heavily upon him in more ways than I can describe. I'm very happy to recommend him for appointment to this position, and I ask for your confirmation of that appointment. And I'm certainly that Mr. Daler would appreciate the opportunity to make some comments, but also encourage all of you to grill him with many questions. So with that, I would bring Mr. Daler up to the dais.
Thank you, Clerk Carl. Mr. Daler.
Thank you, Chair Whiting and committee members. It's very funny that Clerk Carl and I did not share our comments with each other before today, and it is shocking how similar what I have prepared today is to exactly what he said. But as has been said, my name is Ken Daler. I am honored to stand in front of you today, both as a public servant and a city resident. I am a proud resident of the city of Minneapolis. I've been here since 2014, currently a Ward 10 resident, but also having lived in both Wards 8 and 13. As Clerk Carl said, I started in the city clerk's office in 2016, starting as a legislative clerk on a detail assignment, moving into my current role as the legislative support services manager in 2019, late 2019. And when I was considering the promotion, I thought a lot about whether I really wanted kind of a manager and leadership role. And I remember thinking, the clerk's office is such kind of a quiet, calm, stable division here in the city. And of course, within months, I was attempting to hire and train new staff in the middle of a COVID pandemic, the murder of George Floyd, and early retirement incentives that changed kind of the makeup of our office much quicker than anyone had anticipated. Since then, I've supported, this is my 5th iteration of the City Council, all while expanding our team scope to add several other bodies that we had not originally staffed when I started this work, and continuing to learn more about this work every single day. And because I'm more comfortable talking about the work than I am talking about myself, let me talk about the work. Like many clerks, I did not come to this work intentionally. I never said to my mother, I want to be a clerk when I grow up. Unless you are already a clerk or work closely with one, you do not think about the work we do. You have no idea what the work is that we do at all. And by its nature, it's invisible. When I'm hiring new clerks, I often make a point of saying that when the clerk has done their job well, you often have no idea that the clerk has done anything at all. So honestly, the fact that I'm standing here right now makes me feel like something has gone horribly wrong, because the clerk should not be standing here, but here I am. Even when this job gets difficult, and I know you'll all believe me when I say it's had its moments, I fall back on the immense value of the work clerks do. Every single day, the public, the media, elected officials, city residents, rely on the integrity of our records. We've all seen how a rushed amendment or a misspelled word can derail the legislative process unexpectedly. My team's debates over document titles, formatting, whether an edit is substantive or clerical, all of these things make our work accessible today and for years into the future. Our names might not be on the final documents, but our mark is on the work, and I'm very proud of what me and my team do, and it's a privilege to continue to do it. I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment, though, to thank Councilmember Palmisano for hiring me in 2014 to work in her ward office, which became my entry point to city service. Of course, thank you to all the clerks who've mentored me as I've learned this work, including City Clerk Casey Carl, retiring Assistant City Clerk Jackie Hansen, several clerks who've already retired and taught me a lot, and our current Chief Assistant, Kelly Giesler, who was one of the first calls I made when I thought about transitioning to the clerk's office. She had taken the leap just maybe about a year or so before I did. And finally, a huge thank you to the current team of legislative clerks. As Casey kind of alluded to, we all take the work very seriously, but we don't always take ourselves very seriously. And as I wrestled with my comments today, one of the things I always struggle with is how to end. So I'm going to take the lead of Councilmember Warren and simply say, the end.
Thank you, Mr. Daler. Are there any questions or comments for my colleagues? Seeing Councilmember Vito.
Thank you. She's gonna love that. You've already taken a page out of her book. She'll appreciate it. Ken, I didn't realize we've known each other for 12 years. I met you in Councilmember Palmisano's office when we were working on tobacco stuff. It just didn't seem that long ago. And I always appreciated coming to that office because I knew you would tell us the truth, even when you were tired of seeing us. When there had been maybe 5 advocates before me, you would remind me at my meeting, there's already been 4 of you here. We got it. We support you. Stop them from coming. And then that transferred into when we would come to public hearings and there'd be 75 of us signed up. You let us know that there were 75 of us and maybe only 5 of us needed to speak. Thank you so much, Ken, for your years of commitment. You really are such a smart person. I mean, just like incredibly knowledgeable of so many things. I know that my office relies on you heavily for what's right. We have there's 3 of us and we have a lot of discussion, and a lot of times someone says, go ask Ken. And then we know we're going to get the right answer. And so I appreciate that. I value the relationship I have with you. I know that when I come out on the dais, I am going to be the clerk and to lead the other clerks. I admire that because everyone don't have that experience with having constituent calls and having to figure out things and how that translates on paper. And, like the way you respond to people and answer is such a key part of this job, but it's behind the scenes and it's every day and it's constant. And so you need people who are leading that have that experience, and you display that every single day. On a more personal note, you love 90s R&B music. That's our jam. We sing together, and you know all the songs from the 90s, and you know all the R&B songs, all the artists, all the videos, everything. And so we certainly bond over that. And I'm just really proud of the progress you keep making. You are a true testament of when passion meets knowledge. You know it, you're passionate about it, you weren't sure about it, but you took it. You took that chance and you just keep progressing. One of the things that I know about the work that all of us do as servants is that people are watching. And so there are so many people in that office who are watching you, young people. You have a lot of new young people in there, and they're watching you, and you're such a good leader. You're such a model that I'm so proud that we have you here and you keep progressing, and we have people who are looking at that and they can see their future, because there is no city hall without the clerks. And so we always want that profession to be spotlighted in a way where people are passionate about it and want to keep doing it. And you are the face of that. And I so appreciate that. I'm so proud of you for accepting this. I'm so proud of you for knowing that we need you here and we need you to be training the leaders. You've been here during some amazingly hard times, and a lot of people left. a lot of people were like, I've had enough of this. And you stood with the city of Minneapolis, and you see the vision, and you care about Minneapolis, and we need more Kens. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are Knuff.
Thank you, Councilmember Vita. Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you, Chair Whiting. I have a few questions. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll move this for approval, first of all. There's a motion to approve. It's been seconded. No, I just want to say I'm very excited to vote for your appointment, Ken. Thank you for the work that you do. I know that whenever I have a question, you always figure out a way to respond as soon as possible, make sure that my office has the information needed to move anything forward in general. And I think that's just the work that clerks do in the city of Minneapolis. The folks in the public may not be able to see it, but the work that this body, the city enterprise, does would not be possible without the clerks that help run this enterprise every single day. So just very excited to vote for this. Proud of you and the work that you're going to continue to do for our city, and want to give a big shout out to the clerk staff that make this happen. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Chavez. Councilmember Schaefer.
I'll just mention two things I really appreciate is number one, you are always very accessible. I always seem to time my impromptu questions to you during your lunch, but you just happen to roll with it because you're working through your lunch and you can talk to me at the same time. So thank you for your accessibility. And number two, I would say I appreciate your attention to detail and doing things right, and working with us around honorary resolutions that have commitments that really shouldn't be in there and things of that sort. So thank you to all the clerks for all that you do. We notice it, I notice it, and you should be really proud of the way you support the city of Minneapolis.
Thank you, Councilmember Schaefer. Councilmember Chugtak.
Thank you. I'm really excited to close out the discussion on this item. I want to congratulate you, Ken, on this appointment. It's very well earned and deserved, and I think I have nothing further to add to the discussion here, but join all of my colleagues in singing your praises and thanking you for your work, and thanking the entire clerk's office for your work every day. We like to say here in the legislative department that nothing works without the clerks, and it certainly rings true all of the time. But I will say personally, I'm the most excited about the continued takeover of the legislative department by the 10th Ward and our residents that continue to just be excellent in this department. So congratulations. And thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Chugtai. And then I will add a note here as well, and very much, I think, feel exactly the same way as my colleagues do, and just want to note, a few months ago I was able to kind of take a tour with some of my family members, with Clerk Carl and Kirk Geisler, and was able to see the kind of the archival rooms of the city of Minneapolis, many of which have been here from as early as last week all the way to the 1800s, right? And when you go up the bell tower, you kind of get to look upon the city of Minneapolis. And I think it is an example and an analogy of kind of where the clerk's office sits here. And when you look out across the city of Minneapolis, at the bottom of that, the foundation of that is the clerk's office. It is the thing that the responsibility of this city is held upon. And I am seeing how you have been a vision of excellence in the city. And it's been, for me, as someone that is brand new, just like I think Councilmember Schaefer and I, we've been able to see that excellence that you've given to our city. And the clerk's office has done. It has been an invaluable, I think, measure of help for especially us new folks going through the hecticness of federal government that is occupying your city. And very much, I think, has been helpful. You let us do stupid things, right? I don't think a lot of people see that as well, right? When we send things over to all of you, I'm like, I do stupid things, man. I'm sorry. What is it? Assuming intent? I do stupid things, and you let me do those stupid things and learn by those mistakes, and figure out how best to navigate within that. And so, thank you for being that standard of excellence and being that for our city. And so, we have a motion for approval, and it was seconded. We'll ask all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. The ayes ayes have it. And Mr. Taylor, fully appointed. Congratulations. Yeah, I was going to say. Perfect. With that, colleagues, we've concluded all business to come before the committee today, and if there are no objections, we are adjourned. There we go.